Okay, so I thought I'd do an update video of some of the puzzles that I've received over this last month. So let's start off with the Diane Zanchi 2017. So when I made the unboxing video, I was saying that this was kind of a bad cube, and I think the reason why is because I just wasn't used to the way it feels. It's got a kind of weird, kind of bumpy feeling, and the cube is fast, and because I wasn't used to it, I think I just didn't have good cube control, and rather than kind of recognising that, I mistakenly thought that the cube wasn't that great, because, you know, I was finding it difficult to kind of do algorithms quite fast. You know, I'd sometimes overshoot or whatever. So I think that's why I wasn't really that keen on it when I unboxed it. But now that I'm used to it, I do think it's a really nice 3x3 speed cube. It's very fast. I quite like the feeling. You know, it's quite unique. I mean, I always say this in my videos, but I'm not a proper speed cuber, and I haven't tried the majority of the best, newest speed cubes. So this could be really crap in comparison. I've watched a lot of unboxing videos of this on YouTube, and most of the people say that it is a bad cube. So maybe if I was a proper speed cuber and I tried a lot of the latest speed cubes, maybe I would think this is crap too. But out of all of the speed cubes that I've tried, this in comparison to those, it seems like a pretty decent speed cube to me. Like I said, it's very fast. It's got a unique kind of bumpy feeling. I enjoy solving it a lot. So next up is the Lan Lan Mosaic Cube. I was expecting this to be quite difficult, to be honest, but I found it pretty damned easy. Everything was intuitive. So I've only solved this once up to now, so maybe I was lucky. Maybe if I was to try and solve this again, I might find it very difficult. I'm not really sure. But it was fun to solve anyway. The framework Pyraminx, as you can see, this is solved as well. It was very slightly challenging. I quite enjoyed it though. My only complaint about it is that when you try and do this kind of a turn, let's see, where you actually turn it this way, a lot of the time it's very difficult to do it, because when you try to turn it, these kind of move out of place and then it won't turn because you need to have them all aligned. So that's really my only complaint about this, but it was quite enjoyable to solve. The 3x5x7, I think it is. Yeah, so I got the new screwdrivers and I tried a few of them out on this, and one of the screws in this, it just keeps turning and won't tighten. I think it's a screw there actually where you can see it's kind of, everything's kind of loose. A couple of screws I couldn't get to turn at all. The heads of the screws, they don't look stripped, but when I try to turn them either way with a screwdriver, the screwdriver, it will just slip as though the heads are stripped, so that's kind of strange. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to contact Oliver at Oliver Stickers, because he sells these puzzles, and I'm going to ask him if he'll be able to just sell me the core and the screws for this, and hopefully I will do. It shouldn't cost too much, and then I can disassemble this, throw the core and the screws away, put in a new core, you know, screw in the new screws, and it should be fine. I did manage to tighten this screw and this screw a lot more now, so when I'm turning it, it's a lot more difficult for these pieces to pop out and fall out. The Honey Bear puzzle, Russian puzzle, I think it's from 1992. Yeah, a few days ago I was taking pictures of this for someone, and I accidentally, I'm not really sure how I did it, but I accidentally kind of pulled the top part off, and I had absolutely no idea that it could come off. So yeah, you can pull the top part off, and then you can just like take the tiles out. So that's really interesting. And lastly, we have the I think it's called Labyrinth or something. So yeah, in the unboxing video of this, at the end I said these pieces must be weighted. Now I'm not really sure if they are weighted, because when I've looked at these closely, let's try and zoom in, I'm not sure if it will show up that well on camera. Yeah, so when I've looked at these pieces closely, the bottoms of them aren't touching the you know, the white plastic base. There's a gap there, and you can see how it's moving like that. I'm really sure that these have got like little wheels, like they've got little ball bearings probably as wheels, and the way they move, it's kind of strange. It's like they kind of pivot like that. So I'm thinking that probably, rather than having 4 ball bearings, it's got like 2 ball bearings at one end and 1 ball bearing at the other end, and I think that would probably make them pivot. You might be able to see it now when I'm moving them. They don't really move straight like that or like that. They just kind of pivot. So you can just see them, they just kind of move like that. So that actually adds to the difficulty of this. So when I bought this, I was taking a risk because I knew nothing about this. I had no idea whether it was like really easy and simple or whether it was challenging or what, and it was fairly expensive. And like the last thing I wanted to do is to spend a lot of money, or even a small amount of money, on a puzzle or game that's like really easy, because that just doesn't interest me at all. But this looked really interesting, and I was thinking you never know, it could be challenging. So yeah, as it turns out, it is very challenging, which I'm really happy about. I've managed to solve this. I think I was trying to solve it for ages and I couldn't. Put it down. A couple of minutes later I picked it back up, tried again, and I solved it very quickly. So I think that was just, a lot of that was to do with just luck rather than skill, because most of the time when I try to solve this, I find it very difficult, especially like, because like these chips or whatever you call them, you obviously need to get them into these slots the right way up, and because they kind of, when you're trying to, if one is in there upside down and you're trying to get it to come out and you're trying to get it to turn around, the fact that they pivot, that makes it a lot more difficult to try and get them to kind of turn around and go in the right way. So yeah, that is pretty much it. Thanks for watching.